Ah, yes, Leafs forever inside Real Sports Bar and Grill, getting you set on a very, very big day in Toronto sports as we welcome you inside Real Sports. And Ryan Leslie along with you, and Brad May back after a few game hiatus. We'll get into that in just a minute. Thanks for being here, Mayday. Welcome to Unsportsmanlike content. You can catch this all across all Maple Leaf platforms, and we're so glad you're here with us. Let's talk, Mayday, about it. What a nutty day it is in the city. You got the Marlies going right about now. You got the Leafs going in about an hour, and in 3 hours or so, make that 4 hours or so, you're going to have the Toronto Blue Jays in Game 2 of the World Series, live from Toronto, up 1-0. Where were you watching the game last night? Were you at home? Were you out? What were you doing for the game?
I was at home, and we went out. We ordered fish and chips.
Ooh.
Brought it home, and we sat and we watched an unbelievable spectacle.
That's something.
It was so fun, so exciting to cheer on your own city, and the Jays have been electric.
Well, the Leafs are looking to cheer on their team, rather they're Leafs fans, or rather to cheer on their team. So lots of work to be done here early on this season. Let's do a little recap. I mean, we're going to get into some stories. We're going to get into the game itself tonight. But I want to go back, if we could, Brad, because last night you heard and you saw a little bit more of an effort. I know they have not found their game. We're certainly not going to make apologies here, but you look for positives. You look for reasons to kind of get on board with what you're seeing. They're not there yet. They have yet to play a complete 60 minutes. They'll tell you that. Second periods have been a bit of an issue. But last night it looked as though maybe there was a little bit more flow. What did you see there that you liked? And maybe something where you're like, that's got to clean itself up.
Well, number one, let's stay on the positives for a moment,
Sure.
Ryan. I like the energy, I like the speed, and I like the heaviness of this hockey team. Obviously, Willie Nylander, when he gets the puck, most breakaway goals in the National Hockey League last year as well. This guy's fun to watch. Unfortunately, he's injured, and we don't know what that is, Ryan.
Game time decision.
But you know what? It is early. They've run into a little bit of the injury bug early.
Yeah.
That adversity has struck. It's now up to players that actually are not going to be given throughout the whole season opportunities to play on the top line, bounce around, but you got to redefine yourself in these moments. As a team, you have to play structured, you have to play tight, but in saying that, when you have the puck, you have to be free when you're in the offensive zone.
Do you have a problem when you're kind of mixing and matching? We know Berube likes pairs. We're starting to see him kind of, shuffle the deck a little bit. Where and how, when you look at, well, you hear chemistry. We haven't seen it. We know there's familiarity. But where do you come out on that balance of, trying to find that good pairing, and how long do you stick with it? Because he's trying right now to get something going.
The hard part is when you start, shuffling the lineup so much, you don't get that continuity.
Yeah.
However, I love the pair system. I fortunate enough to win a Stanley Cup with the Anaheim Ducks, and that's exactly how Randy Carlyle rolled our team throughout the playoffs and that season, was with pairs. Ryan Getzlaf and Corey Perry, and then whoever the lucky guy was that was playing well enough to fit in, but he could bounce guys around. Chris Kunitz, Dustin Penner, myself, Travis Moen, other players, Todd Marchand, guys that could actually wear different hats. On the top line, it was Andy McDonald and Teemu Selanne. Who's going to be the best player to play with those guys? And you play different ways against different teams. I think Craig Berube, he's got the right recipe there. It's now an opportunity that is up for grabs for some of these players to step up and actually run with it for not only one game, but for a series of games going forward. It's going to happen all year because it doesn't always go your way. But I like the pair system.
We touched on it, and that is Willie Nylander is a game-time decision. So, too, is Morgan Riley. So, when you think about Joe Wall, who is now skating, which is an encouraging sign, announced yesterday that he is going to start those activities. So positive. They needed that, right? Because the workload for Stolarz has become immense. I think he's been their most consistent player so far this season. But we expect to see Caden Primo tonight. We'll keep you posted on that. But, when you've got Tanev out, you've got Morgan Riley ailing to some degree. You've got Nylander. We don't know if he's going to go today, but he left that game last night in Buffalo. So you've got to kind of make shift here. Everybody's got to kind of step up. But I just wonder now, as you look at it, Brad, for tonight's matchup, takeaways from last night that you have to improve tonight.
Yeah, so the first one, and there was a few goals against.
Yeah.
A long bomb pass from the Buffalo Sabres exiting their zone. Isolated the Toronto Maple Leafs and actually set up odd man situation, odd man rushes, and they were able to score Buffalo. So tonight you got to watch that. You got to be careful that you can't get puck watching and you can't get over aggressive and get caught in limbo. You can be as aggressive as you want and can be if you're in the play, on the puck, and certainly on the body. But if you get caught in that limbo zone, and certainly as a third forward high, you got to think defense before jumping into the play. They got caught a couple times yesterday. Here's a great thing about back-to-backs. It's an opportunity to redefine your game, to actually find that team's, that system play, and it's at home. It's a good situation early in the season for Toronto to actually figure that out. Other players have to step up. This is an opportunity. Morgan Riley's not been feeling that good. Of course, Nylander, you don't know if he's playing. This is an opportunity for a guy. Anybody step up, be somebody different, redefine who you are.
And we will get into more on that. And full marks to the Buffalo Sabres last night. They can score. They want to run and gut. Personally, I thought that was a very entertaining game. From my vantage point, I'm not so sure if you're Craig Berube, if you loved it, but there were parts that he did like. But afterwards, the Leafs talked about some of the positives and some of the areas they need to clean up.
I think the disappointing thing is I thought we competed really hard and did a lot of good things, but there's just too many, mistakes going the other way and too many odd man rushes against, and they feed off transition. So, you get caught and they make you pay. I think that's the most frustrating part, just because I thought we really played a hard game tonight. I thought we did a lot of really good things. I thought we were rolling four lines, just competing, at a higher level than the level that we need to compete to win games consistently. And I think that's just the frustrating part for sure.
What did you like about the line before William had to leave? How did you feel you guys were operating?
Yeah, I thought we were good. I thought we competed really hard tonight, generated some good chances. Two easy guys to play with. I thought a lot of good things. I thought all four lines competed really hard tonight. But yeah, obviously first game together, I thought we had some good chemistry.
When you're in the little skid, what have you learned is the key to getting out of it, getting right on the right track again?
I think just putting the work in front of everything else. I think when you work and compete, like we did for most of this game tonight, good things are gonna happen. You're gonna get out of these little skids, and you're gonna win hockey games. So if you clean up the little mistakes, that cost you pucks in the back of your net, and play the way and compete the way that we did tonight, I think we'll be happy with the result most of the time.
I thought the way we came out, I thought we played with a lot of pace tonight, physicality. You like the special teams being able to get one there in the first, and then you look at that 5-on-3, guys were sacrificing their bodies and blocking shots. I don't even know if they had a shot on the 5-on-3. So I thought we played hard, and it was a step up from the last few games. So
Did it feel a little bit loose, like a little bit of pond hockey in there at various points? It looked like it was pretty wide open.
we know that they're a team that likes to play up in the rush. Their D like to get up. So they had chances, we had chances. It just comes down to Al made one more big save than me at the end of there.
Yeah, I'm just curious, how did you feel in a game like this?
You feel good. You're getting pucks, you're moving around. So it's just one of those games, and for me, just trying to track the puck. A couple that they're hitting the late guys and whatnot. So for me, it's just battling and just trying to take as much ice as possible and just fight to see the release.
I thought the first period was all right, and the start of the second, but then something happened there that just the rush game kind of took over a little bit, and seemed like they capitalized on it. But in the third again, we came out and pushed for it and had some good looks right before they scored on the power play, our power play. But overall, I thought we did some good stuff, and some stuff that we still have to work on and clean up, obviously.
Okay, boy, how good has Oliver Ekman-Larsson been so far this season? But you just heard also from Anthony Stolarz, who's going to, he's been carrying the mail. He's going to get the complete night off. So Caden Primo is slated to start. The Leafs have recalled Dennis Hildeby, so it looks as though he's going to back up at this point. Of course, he's been down with the Marlies, and Joe Wall, as we mentioned, is back on the ice skating. He's going to take some time, obviously. So that situation, a little bit of rest is important. But I wanted to ask you a little bit, Brad, about what we saw. That's a tough one for guys like Dakota Mermis and Phil Myers to come in. Now, that's the role. I get it. But they haven't played National Hockey League games in some time. It's tough, right, to bring yourself up to speed. I just wonder the challenges there for two young defensemen to come in without Tana, without Riley last night, and to kind of face a run-and-gun Sabres team. It was a tough one for them, but I wonder what kind of challenges that provides.
Yeah, so for young defensemen, the bottom line is they have to stay composed and not let the big lights, shock them in a way. Phil Myers, good player. He's been here, and we've watched him play. He's got a good game. You know what? The one big thing is matching the pace and the speed. Now, Buffalo, they do love scoring off the rush. They love their transition game. And as a defenseman, you got to just not necessarily sit back on your heels, but you have to play defensively. Make sure that your defensive reads are stronger, and then when the opportunity presents itself, jump up in the play. But for those two players, you have to find something. Is it a physical shift where you knock a few players down? Is it blocking a shot? Is it making a great outlet play? Little wins become big wins, and you got to start small.
Well, and just prior to this game, Craig Berube was asked about the goaltender and Caden Primo. Obviously, there's not a big book on him at this level. Last start was against Nashville back on October 14th, 30 saves. 4 goals, 7-4 win. But this is a player that he's watched in practice. And Dennis Hildeby, by all accounts, had a great camp, has been doing everything he wants. But Caden Primo is going to get the start today. You talked about your relationship with that family. That's fantastic. But this is going to be another tough outing for him on a back-to-back situation for a team that, played last night, got in a little late last night, and now has to, on an early start, give him a really solid effort with some key guys potentially out of this lineup in front of him.
Listen, the opportunity has to fire this player up.
Yeah.
And he's got a chance to play at home against the Buffalo Sabres, a team that he was able to watch last night play, understand how they play, where the threats come from. And for Caden Primo, he's playing for his job here. And there's other players that are going to be back in the mix, like we said, from injury. This is a great chance for him. Now, for Leaf fans that don't know Caden Primo, this guy was a superstar in the American Hockey League. Unbelievable record, really, really solid player, dominated that level. He's been good at the National Hockey League level, but there's another step for this player. 7-4 win against the Nashville Predators, good for him. So he got that under his belt. This is his next opportunity to really, I say solidify, but show his teammates, most importantly, how he plays in net. What can help a guy like Caden Primo is these young defensemen, and if Morgan Riley's in the game, to actually clean outs, good first passes, boxing out in front. They have to help their goaltender when he's in tough situations, but that happens when the Toronto Maple Leafs have the puck. You don't give it away. You play ahead of the red line, play in the offensive zone. Further away from your goaltender does wonders for a goaltender's stats.
How good has John Tavares been this season? This guy is ageless. He's 2 away from 500. Tell me about John Tavares and what we're seeing here, because this is a special player, a special person, a special pro.
Listen, a special pro, and what he did for the Toronto Maple Leafs, it was a gift. Signing the contract that he did to be here in Toronto, wanting to win with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and even giving up his captaincy. This guy's still a captain. He'll always be a captain. He's a leader.
He's the standard, isn't he?
And you know
Great
what?
teams have standards.
He's the conscience of his hockey team, the way he prepares, the way he plays. A couple goals away from 500. I think of, right now when I'm thinking of John Tavares, I think of an old teammate of mine 2 times, and that's Pierre Turgeon. Hall of Fame hockey player. The way they played, Sneaky Pete we called him. Never lost a puck battle on the walls, always had eyes in the back of his head, could pass the puck through any passing lane, But you know what? He also had a great touch around the net. I see John Tavares like Pierre Turgeon, very similar. Not fleet of foot, not the fastest player in the game, but I'll tell you what, not many players think the game better than John Tavares.
And it was fascinating to hear the story that Chief Craig Berube was sharing with everybody just about, there was a time when they checked into a team hotel and there was some food in there delivered to the room, and it was Chief's room. And he starts looking through the bag. He's going, what kind of food is this? It was all this healthy stuff and all this Whole Foods, you name it. It was John Tavares that got sent to the wrong room. But, he's just so committed to the fitness, to the training. And, I don't just mean in and around the season. I mean every day. He is the standard of what to do for every player. You want to know what to do and how to act and how to go about your business? You watch that guy.
Listen, his career started well before the National Hockey League. He got exceptional status as a junior player.
Yeah.
This guy's been living the game, playing the game the right way, and preparing. And the bottom line is you cannot be as good as John Tavares is if for as long as he's been as consistent as he is, if he's not doing those other things right. I don't know. I would say that's 30-40% of his success is the way he prepares and the way he eats and the way he actually thinks the game.
Yeah.
He's already gone through scenarios, I guarantee it, in his pregame, run up to the game. He's gone through every scenario possible that he's going to face tonight. He knows this league, he knows this team, and most exceptionally, he knows himself and what it takes to get ready. I like John Tavares. We all like him. And this guy, 10 points already, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's rolling.
4 and 6.
As an older player, not two, but points in 3 straight games. John Tavares is a guy for me. He's never taken a shift off. Maybe he hasn't had success in every one of those shifts, but he is the conscious.
And you have to wonder too, Mayday, if he might be the perfect tonic for Matthew Nyes to kind of get going as well. Habits, structure, doing things the right way. You have to wonder if this may rub off on Matthew Nyes.
Listen, the experience that a veteran player can impart on his teammates doesn't go unnoticed, and it's so darn important. And yes, if Matthew Nyes is as good of a pro as I believe he is, certainly what his contract suggests he is, he's got the fortitude, but also the intellect to actually follow and do the things that a player that he knows awfully well, John Tavares, do the things that those good players do. Why make mistakes? They've already showed you what the recipe is. Matthew Nyes is going to be a hell of a player in the National Hockey League. He already is, and he's got a great future ahead of him with the tutelage under a guy like John Tavares.
You played for both these teams. You were a Sabre, as everybody knows. You were a Leaf, as everybody knows. What is it about this rivalry? And I think you have a unique perspective on it when it comes to Buffalo, maybe playing in the shadow a little bit. But tell me about your experience with this rivalry from both sides.
From both sides. So let me start. I started my career as a Buffalo Sabre. I was drafted to the Sabres in 1990. And I was so fortunate I got to play my first ever game and home opener in Buffalo. Well, fast forward, I get to come up to Toronto and play against the Toronto Maple Leafs at Maple Leaf Gardens. And I'll tell you what, it's like the underdog story.
Yeah.
Little town of Buffalo coming into the big smoke, big city of Toronto. Obviously the passion and the excitement for hockey. I'll tell you what, I've never been so fired up to play a hockey game. And I grew up in the Toronto area, just northeast, in the Markham, Stouffville, Uxbridge area. And it was a dream come true for myself, but my parents, my brother, my high school buddies, they all came down. It was
Do you play with a little chip when you're with the Sabres because of the bright lights of Toronto? Or are the Sabres constantly trying to play out of the shadow of that?
Yes, there's definitely that element. For myself, the one good thing is when things weren't going well, I could always resort to the physical side.
Yes.
and act like an idiot at different times, threaten guys, careers, whatever it took to actually have the energy to play that game. It was always fun to come into Toronto. The toughest guy I fought with the Toronto Maple Leafs, I did fight Ty Domi, but I fought Ken Baumgartner on a night, and it's a good story. The little town of Buffalo, on their bus the night before it gets up to Buffalo or it gets up to Toronto, the best bus ride I've ever been on, ever in my life, was after the game, Maple Leaf Gardens, going back to Buffalo after Rob Ray fought Ty Domi twice, which I implore everybody watching, you should tap into and watch
that's a great YouTube
hockeyfights.com
rabbit hole.
or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Watch the Rob Ray Ty Domi trilogy. I think they even have a documentary on it.
And they met last night. They were up in the press box. They were taking photos together. Ty was at the game last night watching Max and company.
And
it was great.
Listen, it was always fun, and we knew Toronto had big, solid guys. Thank goodness we avoided Wendell Clark in his heyday because he was a killer and so energized and such a fun guy. But for a young player in Buffalo, but a small town coming here, there's always that disrespect you feel. And these players, they want to come into Toronto and show us, the people here, who they are. And I had some great moments, a lot of great memories of that rivalry.
Yeah.
On the other side, Toronto, going down to Buffalo or playing against Buffalo Sabres.
Home field advantage.
My 1,000th game in the National Hockey League was for the Toronto Maple Leafs in 2009, and it was against the Buffalo Sabres. And Rob Ray, my teammate, gave me didn't give me the silver stick. That was given to me by Red Kelly, which was absolutely amazing. The legendary Red Kelly. But Rob Ray and Larry Playfair presented me with a beautiful picture at center ice here at Scotia Arena.
Really? Where's the stick?
The stick is at my dad's house.
Is it?
In his office. And one day, I'm sure, he'll give it back to me. But I didn't get there on my own. I got there because I had a wonderful family.
You let him hang on to it?
And my dad was such a leader to our family. He deserved a stick more than me.
Hey, since we're talking a little family, you and I were just chatting a moment ago off camera about a neat tie-in between the Sabres, the Leafs, you, and your family. Do you want to share that story?
I'm not.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. It's
It's kind of cool.
So this is what
touching.
this Buffalo Sabres, Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, I just spoke of the 1,000 games. It's 1992, I believe, 1992-93 season. It's my birthday, November 29th. I come back on a bus up to Toronto. I go home. I meet my sister. My sister for the first time of my life, my blood sister, when I was 22 years old, 22 and a half years old. I was actually just turning 22. And I meet Anne at my house.
You'd never met her before.
Never met her before. My sister was born in Montreal. My mom and dad had a baby before they got married. And Anne, who is still a part of our life and fantastic, has a wonderful son, Liam, my nephew. What an interesting, the chain of events for us. But I had to play hockey against the Toronto Maple Leafs the next night. Anne came and watched me play hockey for the first time, knowing that I was her brother. She had no idea either. She had no idea that her brother was in the NHL. And our families collided. My mom and my sister Anne have a fantastic relationship. My dad and I, it's so inclusive. The saddest part about this whole thing is, in our family, we've lost a brother. I lost a brother and a stepsister in the last 2 years. Incredibly painful for us. But my sister Anne, who lives up in Aurelia, I met her for the first time in the Buffalo-Toronto Maple Leafs rivalry, and I think I had a great game because I really wanted to show her what I was made of.
Isn't that wild? You meet her the night before. She, of course, along with your mother, did all the behind-the-scenes ahead of time to reconnect.
And nobody in the world knew. Nobody in the world other than my father and my mother's best friend. Nobody knew that this happened. 22 years later, secrets that were buried, they came to life, and you know what? It's still giving. The heart is still pumping, and Anne's a fantastic woman and sister. But our family was great. We are blessed that day. How crazy that story is! We are blessed.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
I don't even know how I follow
crazy.
up with that story, but I couldn't imagine being in your shoes the night before. You got a game, you meet your blood sister, and all of a sudden, life takes a whole new turn.
This stuff still happens, and it happened certainly in the 60s. This is when she was born.
Sure.
And you know what? A lot of families don't get reconnected. We're one of the stories that actually has a real positive and beautiful ending. And in many cases, that story doesn't end right. It has for the May family, and we're delighted.
I like it. Back to the game from a standpoint of tonight. A few moments ago, or at least before we got on air here, Craig Berube met with the media to talk a little bit about last night, a little bit about tonight, and somewhere in there we hope for some clarity, but there's still a lot unknown in terms of game time decisions. Have a listen.
Interestingly, I guess, how's William doing today?
Yeah, the game time decisions, we got a couple of them, so.
Marlon fall in that category too?
I think he'll be good to go, but still, we'll see after warm-up.
I guess the team got a little bit of good news with Joe Wall coming back.
Yeah.
So sort of enlighten us as to what the plan will be for him sort of in the next little while.
Yeah, I'll leave Tree talk about the plan with him. But he was on the ice today, and it's great to have him back. He's excited to be back, and we're excited obviously too. So it was great to see him on the ice today.
William, game time decision. What have you learned about his ability to kind of play through stuff when he's had, those little things?
Yeah, I mean, he's like any other guy. I mean, if he's able to go, then he'll play. So we'll see how he feels coming in here today.
If he is able to go, do you anticipate any lineup changes then from last night? Or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would. I got a fresh body there with Robbie, so
right.
Yeah, definitely.
What is leading to some of the defensive breakdowns?
Well, for me, it's more about some awareness. We gave up, a couple goals off the weak side there. 2 defensemen coming in and scoring. That's our weak side forward awareness there a little bit. And, for me still, it's just the odd man rushes and how they occur at times. We did a better job of it, but we gotta improve on it.
I was curious about that too, just the defending the rush. What are you seeing in particular there?
Yeah,
right now?
for me, it's losing numbers is one thing, and then the other thing last night, I don't really consider them odd man rushes right over the blue line, but we're right there to defend a couple of them, and we didn't do a good enough job with our stick details and just our details in general. They could have been killed plays, and that could be the difference in the game.
What did you make of the Tavares line last night? What do you hope to see from them again today?
Well, yeah, they did some good things. I mean, I think there's still room for improvement. I thought that I saw more of better Nyes that I saw last year. And, I think there's more from Michelli there. I think, he made some plays, but there's still, I think he's still looking off the first play. And that could be made and trying to make a better play. And I think that's just a confidence thing for me with him. But I was encouraged by some of the things that I saw with that line.
What's been your sense of Primo since his last start, kind of getting ready for another chance?
Well, he's been fine in practice. I mean, it is what it is. He's only played the one game. And, he's a hard worker in practice, and he's detailed in practice, and he's done a good job in practice. That's all I can go off of.
Okay, some pregame thoughts there from the head coach ahead of this one. I think a couple of things that stand out today, Mayday. You've got Caden Primo in net tonight. You're going to see Dennis Hill to be back him up. Game time decision, as you just heard. We'll see about Willie. Sounds as though it's favorable for Morgan, but still with Tanev and potentially Riley, you've got to kind of shore up that back end. But most importantly, I'm kind of looking, and I'll ask you the same, what you're looking at. For me, I want to see the big guns go, and who's going to do something to drag this team into the teeth of the game. How about you?
Yeah, and I'd imagine it's going to be one of 3 guys. It's going to be Nicholas Waugh, Dakota Joshua, or Max Domi playing physical. If you play physical early, get on this Buffalo Sabre team. Possible penalties will result. Therefore, that activates your best players. Get them on the ice. More touches. The more touches they get on the power play, the better they're going to play during the game. The other part is play aggressive. Don't play on your heels. But be careful as a third forward in the offensive zone. Buffalo loves that long bomb. We heard the coach talking about it. They scored off the rush a couple times, and their awareness, they can't get puck watching. That's my last little thing.
All right.
Can't get puck watching. We saw about the weak side defenseman jumping in. Samuelson scored in the first goal. We have to be aware, or they have to be aware, of who's on the ice and where the threat resides.
Will he or won't he play tonight? We'll see if Nylander gets into the lineup tonight. That's the other thing that everybody is keeping an eye on. And, of course, we are all keeping an eye on what the Blue Jays are doing. And a reminder that if you are coming into the game tonight, stick around, because that game will be shown inside the bowl on the big screen. So a 2-for-1, if you will. You're coming to the Leaf game. Keep an eye on that game. Keep an eye on the Jays game. The city is on fire right now. You got a prediction, or where are you going?
Well, my prediction is Davis Schneider's going to have a big day at the plate. And I love Ernie Clement. For whatever reason, Ernie Clement has vaulted himself into one of my favorite players to watch.
The former Sabre, the former Leaf. He is Brad May. My name is Ryan Leslie. We want to remind you that you can catch the game on Sportsnet and on the radio, TSN 1050. We'll have that for you tonight, so tune in, and thank you so much for checking us out on all Leaf platforms. We are right back here on Tuesday when the Calgary Flames are in town. That should be a fun one. Join us for that one?
Absolutely. I'm here.
Looking forward to it. You've been listening and watching to Unsportsmanlike content live here at Real Sports Bar and Grill. Enjoy the game, everybody.